Welcome to Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network. Join hosts Dan, Richie, and TD as they break down the latest news and storylines across the NFL, featuring game predictions, breakdowns, heated debates, live Patreon callers, and everything in between. Catch Fourth and Forever every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Fourth and Forever. Man, we missed you yesterday, but a special shout out to anybody that tapped in with us over on the Bleacher Report marathon stream that myself, Richie, TD, and Colby were on. A crazy day yesterday. We were unpacking everything that we learned. Rich, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Yesterday was epic on the Bleacher Report show. Shout out to everybody that tuned into that show. It was epic. I mean, that's when the Sauce Gardner trade happened, and I was trying to collect myself, be professional on Bleacher Report, but I couldn't really be that much. And then, we're excited to get into all the things that happened regarding the NFL trade deadline. TD's not going to be able to be here today. He's not feeling well, but it's all good. You got myself and Dan Mitchell to break down everything about the NFL trade deadline. I mean, wow, what a day it was yesterday across the NFL world. So make sure you guys smash the like button. Come over to Roundtable Sports on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, baby, because we're live talking all things NFL all week long.
And crazy is an understatement, especially since your favorite team was on what many would describe as a fire sale, sending over Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks, sending over Quinnen Williams over to the Dallas Cowboys. It's pretty clear that your team is planning for the future. I have a couple of follow-up questions for you. It's sort of based off of some of your Twitter activity for earlier this morning that I kind of want to get your thoughts on. But I mean, now that the dust is settled, like, what's your thought process, man? Sauce Gardner, you have Quinnen Williams gone. I did see that video of that poor kid crying, like, when he heard that Sauce Gardner was traded. Damn, Mom, come on. Come on. You could have lied to the guy, all right? You know, let it down easier. But go ahead. That video really encompasses what every Jets fan felt in a little kid at first, just emotionally wise. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, Dan, yesterday was wild because we thought that Quinnen was going to get traded, but not Sauce, right? So like there's a shock factor, but then when you let the emotions settle and you look at the business side of things, like the Jets got tremendous value for Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell. I mean, you can't ask for a better thing. And the thing about the Sauce Gardner trade, Dan, is it's not like the Jets were selling him. Like he was not up for grabs. The Colts really, really wanted him, and the Jets took the phone call a few weeks ago, and the Colts are like, what would it take to get Sauce? And they're like, well, a lot, and we're not interested in trading Sauce. That's basically what happened. And then after the Colts lost on Sunday to the Steelers, the Colts got really aggressive. They called the Jets, and they're like, all right, we really want Sauce, and we're going to offer you X, Y, and Z. And the Jets were like, well, the only way you're parting ways with him is if you give us probably 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell. And the Colts are like, all right, we'll do that. And that's really what it came down to. The Jets, I don't think this was more of a fire sale. What I really respect about what Darren Muji did is he was very gung-ho on his prices for Breece, for Jermaine, for Quinnen, for Sauce, and he did not budge. And keeping Garrett Wilson untouchable, I think, was massive. He did not just ship away these guys for nothing. He was very stern on his prices. He wanted a 3rd for Breece. He got offered a 4. He said, no, we're not trading Breece. He wanted a 2nd plus more for Jermaine. He was not offered that. We're not trading him. All right, you're offering a 1st and a 2nd for Quinnen. We'll do that. 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell for Sauce. We'll do that. So I'm really impressed, honestly, with Darren Muji. He taught me a lot about the type of GM he is. And so, you know what? Like, that Sauce trade was indeed a shock. And you know what? Like, I have heard this narrative over and over and over again about Sauce Gardner, like saying, oh, he's overrated anyway. He's terrible. Like, he's king hold. And I was actually able to like unpack some of the data like on his overall production. Yes, you can make the argument that Sauce Gardner, his efficiency as far as EPA is concerned, has gone down for the past 2 years. But in my opinion, I think if you want to get him back to those all-pro years, I think a change of scenery was the best for him, because people often don't talk about that dude has had 3 different coaching staffs in a year period, right? Started off with Saleh, and then the old brick tenure as the interim head coach, and then now with Aaron Glenn.
who has been asking him to travel as a corner for the first time in his entire career. So now I'm interested if we're going to be seeing all-pro Sauce Gardner once he's over in Indianapolis. Maybe they leave him on an island. He's opposite of Charvarius Ward. I suppose time will tell, but I do think that this is a relatively even trade. I don't think either team lost in this scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Colts won as well. I think that they're aggressive. They feel like they have a chance to win right now. They needed help at corner, and boy, did they get arguably one of the best in football. And the system they run there, Dan, is exactly what Sauce thrived in. It's a very similar system to Robert Saleh. I don't think they're going to do a lot of press man coverage. Like the way Aaron Glenn used him was press man, really handsy, got a lot of calls. I think the Colts are going to have him, be a little bit more soft, keep your eyes on the ball, and be aggressive in zone coverage. So I definitely feel like this is a win-win. The Jets are in a mode right now where they got to retool. They got to reassess this team. And another thing that the Jets did, right? We extended Sauce in the offseason, but what Darren Muji said, our GM, is when they made that contract extension, they made sure it was tradable. While they extended Sauce, they made sure when we give you this extension, it is a tradable contract. And they're obviously forward thinking there. And now you look at what the Jets did. They extended him and they extracted 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell. Now, A.D. Mitchell is a polarizing player. I know you're not high on him. I mean, the question is, like, can he be a guy like Sauce with a change?
He's better than what you had past Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. The Jets are desperate.
He's way better.
We don't have a wide receiver next to Garrett Wilson. So, like, could he be somebody that takes his opportunity and run with it with the Jets? Because he was buried on the depth chart with the Colts.
Mm-hmm. So you said something interesting, because right now you're sitting on a gold mine of picks. And, of course, I follow you on Twitter. Who doesn't? It's NY Jets Media on X. Come on. It's best Jets account on the internet, all right? And you were in a conversation with somebody about, don't think that all of these picks are suggesting that we're going to be selecting a quarterback in the draft. Look at these picks as potential compensation to go out and make a trade for a veteran quarterback during this offseason. And that much I agree with you. In fact, I think that's your best possible move. I'm not high on any of these quarterbacks coming out. At one point, I was high on Lenoris Sellers. His injury history scares me. He definitely had a pretty bad game a couple of weeks ago. I guess Fernando Mendoza could get it done, but I think the Jets' best option, and I think that Muji so agrees with you. I think that you're going to go out and you are actually going to test the market and attempt to find a quarterback, a veteran via a trade with all of that draft compensation.
The problem with that is it's out of our control of who becomes available. Like the guys that are being rumored right now is Kyler Murray, which I don't think a lot of people would be happy about. Dak Prescott.
I wouldn't.
Joe Burrow is more of like I don't see the Bengals trading him. I just don't see that happening. So it's really hard to evaluate it, but I think that the Jets would be smart to do that. And then all of a sudden, look at what the Jets draft picks look like, Dan. The 2027 draft is the draft, not just for quarterbacks, but for wide receivers. It's like the generational draft. And I find it very interesting that the Jets in the Quinnen trade gets the second this year, first in 27. So they did that on purpose. That was calculated. And the Cowboys have 2 firsts in 27, and they're getting the higher pick, whether it's the Packers or the Cowboys. Whoever has the higher pick in 27, the Jets get that. So they're forward thinking. What would you do if you were the Jets heading into this offseason? Because from a quarterback perspective, do you either run it back with Fields just for a bridge in 26 to go into 27 and get your quarterback, just kind of punting next year as well? Do you get another or a different bridge? Or do you draft your guy? Like, do they try to find their franchise quarterback this offseason, or do they wait for 27 because you got a lot of more potent quarterbacks in that class?
So remind me of what Fields' contract looks like going into next year.
So they have $10 million on the books. It was a 2-year, $40 million contract, $30 million guaranteed. So it's a $10 million cap hit in 26. They could get out of it very easily if they wanted to. But if they want to keep him, it'll be a $10 million cap hit, which is pretty cheap for a quarterback. But obviously Fields is not playing good. So it's not, it's hard to kind of bring Fields back as a starter and saying we're going to be competitive.
Yeah. Say that you designate him as a post-June 1st cut. Then you would add $13 million dead, but that's money already paid to him. And so it's already gone. So what's the point? a 2027 dead cap hit of 9, but you would save $10 million if he was a post June 1st. Say that you can convince someone to trade for him. I doubt it with that contract. I wouldn't be surprised if you do go that route. Just go on ahead, just post June 1st, cut him, and let him hit free agency. Who knows if another team would be willing to take him on and give him a chance, and just hit free agency or like hit that trade market, right? Like a Dak Prescott would make sense. And while Kyler Murray is sort of laughable, and obviously like we need to talk about this since he was just benched by Jacoby Brissett now officially, and depending on where his contract is, he might be a pretty cheap bridge for y'all. And he might be a better bridge, in my opinion, than Justin Fields.
Yeah, he is a more accurate version of Fields. Like, he's got the mobility, he's got the athleticism, can run, and a way better a thrower. But I just don't look at Kyler as a face of a franchise, like future guy that can win a Super Bowl with. No. I will take Kyler if it was a cheap and be a bridge to draft the quarterback. Absolutely. And you look at the cap space for the Jets. Look at this. I mean, the Jets got $94 million in 26, and then it balloons up to 209 and 255 million in 27, 28. They reset the books. But going back into the trades, the Sauce Gardner trade is one thing, but Dan, that Quinnen trade, I am shocked at the value that they got for Quinnen Williams. Getting a first and a second and Mozzie Smith, who again, Smith is not a guy that I'm excited about from a player wise. But to get a first and a second for Quinnen, I thought the Jets would be lucky to just get a first and that's it. But it was a first and a second. And there was rumors, as James Palmer told us yesterday, that there was a player for player trade on the table. And now everyone's speculating who that was. Like, what team was it that was trying to trade for Quinnen that was going to be a player for player swap? What team was it? What player was it? We'll never know. But it ends up being the Cowboys, a first and a second the Jets get for Quinnen Williams. And he has a contract situation going on, right? He's guaranteed money runs out. The Cowboys are going to have to pay him, whereas Sauce's contract is locked up. The Colts still going to worry about that.
And so I'm kind of curious, especially from a Cowboys perspective, like what is their long-term play here, right?
They got to extend him, Quinnen, for sure.
Yeah. You would assume so because like you look at what made or what went into the Dallas Cowboys being the second worst defense in the NFL. I think a lot of it had to do with stopping the run. Surprisingly enough, with pressure, was dead set in the middle. Say that Micah Parsons was back on, like maybe they might have seen some improvements. But Logan Wilson, then Quinnen Williams, one would assume that that's going to see a significant improvement right within their run defense in general, right? Secondary is still a bit of a concern. But now I'm looking at the dynamic because like you saw Jones get all sort of light-footed when it came into paying Micah Parsons. And without him walking away from Micah Parsons, he would not have been able to bring this guy in to the New York Jets, to the Dallas Cowboys. He would not have been able to get Logan Wilson. He would not have been able to get Kenny Clark. So I think when you look at it, now I'm not so mad at Jerry Jones for trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers because look at what he was able to acquire.
Yeah, I agree. And I got to say this, there's way too much disrespect going on. Like this grade for the Cowboys being an F,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with that.
Wow.
I'm not sitting here like, yeah, the Jets won the trade. Like, Quinnen is a very good football player. Mozzie Smith stinks. All right. So it's more about the draft picks the Jets got. I love, like, if Smith was not involved or if he is involved, he's a throw-in. I like that he's involved because he's a former first-round pick bust. The Jets got to take a swing. Now the defensive tackle position is a issue without Quinnen, of course. But Quinnen is a very good football player, 27 years old. And the Cowboys have desperately needed defensive line help. And I said it yesterday on Bleacher Report, like Jerry Jones is going to be aggressive. And if there was a team out there that Quinnen Williams is going to go to, it's Dallas. So I called that. Yeah. And I feel like they're definitely out there making some plays. Now, I feel like Garrett Wilson being untouchable was massive. You found out that your Buffalo Bills called the Jets.
Yes.
And the Jets basically, according to what I saw, you know what the Jets did? They didn't even answer the phone.
Yeah.
Because I think the Bills called last week, based off what I saw. They called the Jets last week, and the Jets said, no, we're not interested in trading Garrett. And then the Jets trade Sauce. So then they see that the Jets, the Bills are like, oh, you're trading everybody. All right, let me call back. And the Jets didn't even answer the phone because they knew who it was for. So I absolutely love that if there was one untouchable, it was Garrett, and I'm very happy about that. But your Buffalo Bills, do nothing. And they were inquiring about Garrett Wilson, and the Jets said absolutely not.
Yeah. From what I understand, it sounds like Buffalo was in on both wide receivers. It's Waddle and Garrett Wilson. Based off of Brandon Beane's press conference earlier this morning, where he said, yeah, like we were going out there and we were trying to make deals within the AFC East, but they were unwilling to do business with us. And rightfully so. It's definitely hard to pull off a trade like that within the division. And I got to tell you what, dude, like Bills Mafia is pissed off. Like, Brandon Beane, how dare you, man? Why don't you go out and get a speed wide receiver on the perimeter? Well, Rich, one thing I got to tell you is that as much as I love Josh Allen, he's never been a good deep ball passer in his career. Best he's ever finished was, I think, 9th place. Vast majority of the time, he's like fluctuating between 22 and 25. So while I'm upset that we weren't able to like send over a haul to New York, like for a Garrett Wilson or over to Miami, because quite frankly, I don't care about first round picks at this point. I wasn't so pissed about us not getting Rashid Shaheed or Jacoby Myers. Like, those guys, in my opinion, are just guys. I don't think that they're wide receiver ones. I think that they're wide receiver one upside guys. And that's not what Buffalo needs. I think Buffalo needs like that cherry on top luxury to add to the defense. Excuse me, the offense. So while Bills fans are pissed off, sounds like Brandon Beane was at least attempting to make an interdivisional trade, but I guess we're just rolling with the roster that we have. And that's not a bad thing, Rich. No. It's not a bad thing because, like, when I look at it, right, like weapons wise, like we often hear that Josh doesn't have weapons. Halfway through the season, we have the number 1 tight end in the NFL for efficiency and DVOA. He's the number 1 tight end in Dalton Kincaid. He's been going crazy. We have the number 2 running back in the NFL. We have a top 5 offensive line. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think on paper, when you look at that, right, probably should be enough to win a Super Bowl, right? Say that you're looking at any team. Say that you have an elite offensive line, an elite quarterback, an elite running back, and an elite tight end. You feel like that's enough to win a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. I mean, the defense has to be something, though. You didn't mention anything on that side of the ball. But, you know, you have Maxwell Harrison making some plays, which is very big because he, I think, is the biggest X factor, in my opinion. If Harrison becomes the guy, which in a very small sample size, he's looking very good. I got to give him the credit. Obviously, his development was halted because of the injury he suffered in training camp. But I think that your defense is really going to make or break everything. Like, your defense is not even close to as bad as the Bengals, but I bring up the Bengals just because of how prolific their offense is and how terrible their defense is. That'll never work out. The Bills defense is dealing with a lot of injuries. And in terms of getting down the line, like, I didn't really think the wide receiver position was what you needed the most. Like, your offense always scores points. Josh Allen knows how to play without an elite wide receiver. It's more the defense that I look at the Bills. So very interesting for them to sit on their hands and not make a play, because a big time receiver like a Waddle or a Wilson would have absolutely changed the Bills' perspective of everything, but they decided not to.
Yeah, man. You know, like, and so I look at this defensive line too. So we're a very good defensive line. Very good defensive line as far as creating pressure. And that's even without Ed Oliver and same thing with Michael Hoyt. So with both of them played 2 games. So like, we're still getting to the quarterback. Like, we were top 3 without those guys all season long. Hopefully Max is able to turn it around and stay consistent. You know, we have a brand new safety in Jordan Hancock who's been looking really good too. So like, in my opinion, like, you have to ride with the team that we have. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, like maybe having a speed wide receiver on the outside would have been nice, but all we can do is just accept what we have. And that's a top 3 team in the league for points per game. Hopefully we figure it out, man. You know, feed Dalton Kincaid and increase his snaps from like 40 to 60. And there's your wide receiver number 1, ladies and gents. Shocker for me. Was watching a couple of teams do nothing as well, because Buffalo is not the only contender that stood pat and didn't make a move at all. In fact, I would say that the majority of the big contenders didn't do anything. The Kansas City Chiefs did not do a thing. The New England Patriots did not do a thing.
You know what? The biggest contender did make a move.
Is it Seattle Seahawks? Seattle Seahawks. But hey, listen, I'm bought in on them Seahawks, dude. I'm bought in on those Seahawks right now. But focusing on the Chiefs, did they make a mistake in not making a move?
Well, they tried.
Right,
the question is, did they make a mistake not being more aggressive? I think that's more the question, because you look at what the Kansas City Chiefs were trying to do. They were in on Breece Hall, and the Jets wanted a 3rd-round pick. The Chiefs offered a 4th. So my question is, did the Chiefs make a mistake by not going to the Jets' price, which was 3rd? And were the Jets smart by not just – the reason why I'm so blown away by Darren Muji and what the Jets did is, like, they're not one of the – it seems like he's not a GM that's a pushover. Be like, all right, fine, have him for a 4th. Like, no, this is my price. If you're not paying this price, you're not getting this player. And the Chiefs, from their perspective, they're like, well, I guess a 3rd-round pick is too pricey. Do you think the Chiefs are going to regret not paying that 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall? Because that's the guy they were in on.
So I was tapping in on Kansas City radio. Okay, hey, sorry. For a second, I thought I lost you there. So I was tapping in on a Kansas City radio station because, surprisingly enough, a lot of those radio hosts are upset. It's like polarizing. It's like mixed from one side or the other. One guy was saying, okay, you're telling me that we'll give a 3rd and a 6th for Kadarius Toney, but we won't give a 3rd for Breece Hall. And rightfully so. Like, from the outside looking in, it seems like paying a 3rd for Breece Hall would have made sense. But then some other guy was saying, hey, you know what? We really don't have a lot of draft picks in the first place. And while Breece Hall would be an immediate impact for us, he has an injury history. He is older. So grabbing a running back next year and just relying on Patrick Mahomes, which we know this team is going to be fine, that should have been the play. So it sounds like it's pretty polarizing. Say that it was up to me. I think that Breece was like sort of worth a 3rd, but
he would have been disgusting in that offense, dude. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
he would have been
crazy. Thank God you did not trade him to the Kansas City Chiefs, because then I would have said that, okay, now I'm feeling pretty confident that they can go on a playoff run. Since that hasn't happened, I think after they lose to Denver next week, after their bye week, man, it's going to be tough sledding for that squad.
Yeah, so the Chiefs, they don't do anything with that. And then I think that other contending teams that didn't make a play, like the 49ers, apparently they were in on Jermaine Johnson, and the Jets said, we want a 2nd plus more. They weren't able to do that. So a lot of teams sat on their hands. And another team that did not really be as aggressive as I thought they were in terms of being sellers is the Miami Dolphins. Like, I know you get a 3rd for Jalen Phillips, and that's it. You didn't trade Bradley Chubb. You didn't trade Waddle. You didn't trade Minkah Fitzpatrick. You know, my bold take on the Bleacher Report show yesterday was they should have a fire sale, but it was the Jets that did it. And I think you look at the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets, both teams in a rebuild. Look at the ammunition the Jets have right now compared to the Miami Dolphins. Like, obviously, we are both in different situations, the Jets and the Dolphins. But now it's now like you look at those organizations set up. I mean, what do the Dolphins have capital-wise to be excited about?
So here's my question as well. Why on earth would they not have that mindset after firing their GM? Because you're very clearly trying to set a good environment for this new GM, and why not load up on as many picks as humanly possible? How dare them have the audacity to think, oh, no, like we like our guys, or, oh, no, like we're going to stand pat on our price. While the Jets had a good excuse of standing pat on their price, I don't think the Miami Dolphins did, because at least you have a new regime and they know what they're doing. But for some odd reason, why Miami was being picky, I have no idea. Like, maybe Stephen Ross was involved. Like, maybe he was the one that was calling the shots.
Maybe there wasn't interest because the Jets were not just giving away their players. The Jets were, like you said, they were very stern on their prices, and they extracted the most value. The Dolphins couldn't do that with guys like Waddle.
Why I'm not buying that, because Palmer even said on Bleacher Report yesterday that the Steelers and Denver were being very aggressive, and both of them needed a wide receiver. I am almost willing to bet my damn mortgage right now that both Pittsburgh and Denver called Miami on behalf of Jalen Waddle. And so I know Buffalo did, but like that was a lost cause anyway. But I mean, come on, dude. Like, what are you keeping Waddle for? Like, you have a
Like,
brand new GM.
What do you think Waddle's value is? Like, the Jets got 2 firsts and a former 2nd-round pick in A.D. Mitchell for Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
What was Waddle's value? Like, and
for me, of what I would pay for Waddle, a 2nd. And so I'd pay for a 2nd. But for some odd reason, I just think that I think they were probably looking for a 1st-round pick.
Yeah, and I guess there wasn't a team out there. I think Denver.
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
It's, the Dolphins are in a very interesting spot that, they don't have a 2026 3rd is all you get for Jalen Phillips. Now, Jalen Phillips is a solid football player, but he's not a big needle mover. So I really am curious to see how they approach it. And then you look around, the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Jacoby Myers. I don't really look at that as a big trade. And then Rashid Shaheed is a sleeper, man. I mean, I know everyone likes to call me this, the Sam Darnold truth or whatever the word is, but bro, you got JSN, Cooper Kupp, who's dealing with some injuries. And then I don't know if you realize it, but on Sunday night, you know what Sam Darnold's starting to do? Turn no names into names. I mean, that 70-yard touchdown he threw, which was a catch and run, was a guy that's never had a touchdown in his life, an undrafted free agent. He's making lesser guys step up to the plate. He's making JSN the best receiver in football, productive-wise. Rashid and Sam Darnold is also the best deep thrower in the NFL, right there with Drake May. It's him and Drake May as the best, and Rashid Shaheed is the vertical threat down the field. So I think that's a very slept-on addition for the Seattle Seahawks. And, TD's not here, but he loves to just get into the debate with, JJ McCarthy's better than Sam and all these different things. But, dude, what Sam did on Sunday night, that I almost went to that game?
You did.
I was down there with my sister. They live right down in Washington, D.C. area in Virginia. And spontaneous. I know, dude. My brother, I was trying to convince my brother.
Darnold's #1 fan, wasn't there?
I know. I was like, wait a sec. The Commanders Seahawks Sunday night. Let's go. Let's go spontaneously go. But then unfortunately it didn't work out. I was looking at tickets. Tickets were dirt cheap, bro. To sit front row for that game was ridiculous. If you want to sit front row for Jets Browns, it's like 10 times the price. I'm like, what's going on? So I almost went to that game, and I'm really upset I did not because I missed the Sam Darnold masterclass.
So I'll tell you what. So with Rashid Shaheed makes sense for the Seattle Seahawks because that is a complement of them already having a true bona fide #1, right? Shaheed over to the Bills didn't make sense to me because you're anticipating him to be your one guy. He's not that guy. He is a gimmick go route type dude, speedster. In my opinion, for Seattle, that is their replacement to prime Tyler Lockett. Like that guy that could really get on downfield, stretch the field, and the way that he did. It's solid.
And without TD here, and not that you wouldn't do it with TD here, you would as well, but what's your valuation of Sam Darnold right now after his performance on Sunday Night Football against the Commanders? Is it you're looking at it like, well, the Commanders suck, so I'm not really reading into it? Or what's your valuation?
He's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put him in the MVP conversation. And look, a very rare time on this show, but I am going to be candid here. Where it stands, Josh is the leader of the MVP conversation as far as Vegas is concerned. Probably wouldn't have him there, right? I'd probably have Matthew Stafford and I would have Sam Darnold above Josh right now as far as their consistency, as far as what they have been able to do. It's still early, right? Josh could still be the favorite down the road, but I think where it stands, I think that it's truly a two-man race. It's Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold.
You wouldn't put Drake May in there?
Yeah, I'd put Drake May in there. I would probably put Drake third. I'd put Darnold second, Stafford first, and I'd put Josh fourth.
And Baker just dropped off the face of the earth because why? You had 2 bad
games? Don't sleep on Baker too. He could very well pick it back up. He's been dealing with a lot of wide receiver injuries, losing out with Evans. He's barely had Godwin, and even Emeka Egbuka has been banged up too. So I still think it's any man's race, but Yeah, dude, listen, I have Sam Darnold very high up in the MVP conversation right now.
Yeah, and he's got to step up in the playoffs. That's really what it's really going to come down to. But, what Sam Darnold is doing is fantastic. And, I mean, the J.J. McCarthy glaze now after that win, like we're acting like he went out there and balled out. I mean, what are we doing here? But I'll save that conversation for when TD is back. Let's get into some of the super chats and members because DT 6-borough native is a new member of the Roundtable.
That's my guy.
Community.
What up, dude?
We appreciate that, man. Shout out.
We appreciate the love. Thank you.
And DF Forever. Oh my goodness. He gifted 5
memberships.
Woo!
Dwayne, we're sorry for not pointing that out earlier. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to the 5 people that Dwayne gifted in the chat. If you guys got a membership from Dwayne, please let us know in the chat because I missed exactly who got it. You guys can spam the Roundtable Sports emojis now with the membership. So big shout out to Dwayne for gifting 5 memberships. The Jersey Graveyard. Bro, what do I do with this, Dan? I have a signed Sauce Gardner framed jersey here.
Yeah.
I have a rivalry Sauce Gardner jersey. I have a rivalry Quinnen Williams jersey.
Yeah. So you know what? So I said, you know what? We are trying to grow specific platforms at Roundtable Sports. And it's still a keepsake. It's still a cool Gardner sign thing. It could be one of those rare items. Say that Sauce goes out and has a Hall of Fame career with Indianapolis. Imagine how hard it's going to be to find a signed Jets jersey from Sauce Gardner. So you know what I think, Rich? I think we should give it away.
Do I replace whose jersey do I put in there?
Dude,
or do I just replace it and don't put a jersey?
So I have a rule, a big rule when it comes into me buying jerseys. And I feel like you've been burned by this a lot. From now on, only buy Jets greats jerseys from now on. Only buy greats.
Yeah, man.
I think that's my best piece of advice.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So I have that Josh Allen rivalries jersey, but that's the only current player that I have, and I didn't even buy it, and so I got it for free. But yeah, dude, listen, you only can buy throwback jerseys of Buffalo Bill greats or your favorite team greats.
Yeah, it's true,
and that's how you avoid it.
Well, yeah. I learned to not get a quarterback jersey for the Jets, and I refuse to do that until we find our guy. I did get a brand new Jet Legend jersey that just came in. I'm excited about, which is the great Nick Mangold. So I'm excited for that one. Smarty Jams with a $2 super chat. Garrett Wilson, 700-yard season in progress. He's still going to get that grand, bro. He just had 2 weeks off because of injury, unfortunately, but he's still going to get that 1K, baby. Come on now.
He's going to get that 1K, man.
Does that Sauce trade change how you look at the Colts? Sauce and Ward for corners. Also Cam Bynum at safety. Also JT has been amazing. Yeah, I mean, you look at the Colts heading into the deadline, they needed corner help, but I didn't expect them to go after Sauce. I mean, their defense completely shifts, and the Colts, after getting beat up by the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers picking apart that secondary, yeah, you look at the Colts in a different light now.
So what you also can't ignore is the fact that they probably have the best slot corner in the NFL as well, in Kenny Moore. He's back at practice, it looks like. Or maybe I'm reading an old headline. Returns to practice ahead of Week 7 versus the LA Chargers. Yeah. So their secondary is just insane.
Yeah.
So
it's elite.
It's gonna be good, but I'm hoping that the Daniel Jones multiple turnover game against the Steelers was just an anomaly.
We'll see. T. Rivera, $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Richie and Dan, what a cocktail to start my afternoon. For you, Rich, your thought on the players added to these deals. Also, I haven't heard anything from Clemens, which is particularly good. And Dan D. Bills, nada. So, yeah, I mean, the Jets get 4 new players in these trades. A.D. Mitchell, John Mechie, Mozzie Smith, and we got Jasir Taylor from the Chargers. I'm intrigued about A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie just because of how bad the Jets receivers are. And they're both going to have a 9-game tryout to try to prove themselves to be pieces next to Garrett Wilson. And I like that the Jets turned their strength on cornerback and turned it into the weakness for the wide receivers. So I kind of like their approach there. But we shall see. A.D. Mitchell is going to get his opportunity here with the Jets. That's for sure. Smarty Jams, $5 super chat. The Dolphins asked for a first-round pick plus additional compensation for Waddle. Is he worth a first plus more, Jalen Waddle?
So depending on who you ask. So if you were to ask me, yeah, sure. And so you can go ahead and take 29th overall, 30th overall, whatever. I don't care. Right? But maybe to the Broncos, no. And maybe to the Pittsburgh Steelers, no. Especially since they have so many question marks at who their quarterback is going to be next year. Like, we're hearing that they're interested in bringing Rodgers back, I guess. But, like, that's still a pretty glaring hole. So I could see why the Steelers said, nah, I'm good on a first-round pick with Waddle.
The Nerdy Realtor gifted 5 Roundtable Sports memberships. Are you kidding me? Shout out.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Shout out to Blake, Thomas, Danger Zone, the Juice Man, Indy Jets. He says, go Bills as well. Thank you to the Nerdy Realtor, man. 5 gifted. If you guys are now members to the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel, let us know in the chat. Spam those emojis of TD crying. That's my favorite emoji that we got here. Oh, wait, no, that's on the AFC's Roundtable emojis. I got to add that to this one.
Yeah.
Dan ready to hunt some dolphins with that camo sun, says Richie
sir.
Fresh. He also says,
sir.
Dan, I think a lot of Bills fans are thinking me not making a move makes me think, oh, now we better win it this year. I'm kind of there, but I don't
know. So I think it is what it is, right? And so, like I said, I'm not mad that we didn't match for a Rashid Shaheed. I'm not mad about a Jacoby Myers because, again, that's a wide receiver 1 upside guy, right? Like, say that we were going to make a move. I wanted it to be a player like Olave / Waddle / Garrett Wilson, and all of those players remain on their same team now. So, yes, I would have liked to move, but, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, what can you do? You know?
What can you do? Well, I know what you can do. Go over to Sleeper and check them out. By using the code RTS, gives you a 100% deposit match up to $100. You also get $20 for free. This is a limited time only promotion that they are running over there on Sleeper Picks. Make sure you guys check them out, man. If you have not already, the link is at the top of the description. I'll put it in the chat as well for you guys. That's easier access. And if you guys are on Sleeper and you're winning some cash, please let us know. It's a great way to 100x your money. You could build awesome player prop bets and win some cash. You got basketball season well underway. You got Thursday Night Football tomorrow. So make sure you guys go check them out. Using the code RTS will give you all the absolute things you need. Terms and conditions apply. Legal in 25 states, excuse me. Shout out to Sleeper. Here is a link, folks. Go click on that for us and sign up today. All right. Big time shout out to them. Now, let's get into some Patreon callers. If you guys want to call into the show, the Patreon call link is in the description. Let's get into Terrence, the Colts fan. What up, Terrence?
What's up, Terrence?
What's up, man? Hey, I don't know if it's true or not, but I want to say shout out to Sleeper because I feel like they broke the Sauce Gardner news on my phone before anybody. And I tried to run over to y'all page to the Bleacher Report, and it took y'all about 2 minutes. But I'll tell you what, Richie's reaction, priceless. I see your heart drop, your soul left your body. Now, Dan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And our guy, Indy Jets, shout out to him. He hit me up. And I was like, y'all should just come on and be Jets fans. I mean, Colts fans. I know y'all not, but I'm just put that out there. Y'all could, be fans from a distance. Now, Dan Mitchell, Richie pressed you a week or 2 ago. Are you still confident in your Bills? Because Richie said, what about the Colts if they meet in the AFC Championship or in the playoff? And you was like, I'm not worried. I'm not, they're. Now, you just said offensive line. The Colts got that. You said tight end. The Colts got a rookie stud. You said running back.
Yeah.
We all know who the best in the league is. And now you put that with Cam, Sauce, Nick Cross, and Cam Bino. I just want to know, are you a little nervous now?
Terrence.
Terrence,
we appreciate the call. Yeah, dude, listen, like those moves right there have really put the Colts on the map for me, right? And how I look at how the Colts are constructed and how I look at how the Bills are constructed, very similar teams. Like you have the number 1 running back in Jonathan Taylor, followed by the number 2 running back in James Cook. You have the number 1 tight end in the NFL in Dalton Kincaid. And then, of course, you end up having their rookie who is.
Did you say the number 1 tight end in the NFL in Dalton Kincaid?
Yes, he is number 1 in the EPA per attempts, advanced metrics. Yeah, advanced metrics. He's number 1 in DVOA, number 2 in whatever. He's balling. So I think 2 top 3 offensive lines. Y'all's with your defense is incredible. I'd be nervous. I'd be nervous. Solid matchup. But one thing that does make me feel better, as much as I'm a Daniel Jones guy, and remember, I was a Daniel Jones guy before any Colts fan was, and I got the receipts to prove it, we still got you in QB.
Well, Fritchie Fresh ain't worried about Danny Dimes.
Yeah. Hey. But listen, I have bet on the Daniel Jones hype train from the very beginning, and receipts prove it.
Thanks for Richie Fresh. So someone in the chat says, Richie going to root for the Colts now. Actually, quite the opposite. Why? The Jets own their 2 first-round picks. So the worse the Colts are, the better our draft picks are. So I am now a Colts hater. I'm rooting for Sauce, though. I am a big fan of Sauce individually. I'm not rooting against Sauce Gardner, but you may catch me rooting against these Indianapolis Colts moving forward this and next year. So those 26, 27 first-round picks are as high as humanly possible, Dan. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I remember we did that with Seattle when we traded Jamal, and it ended up being a top 10 pick. We got Garrett Wilson out of it, man. So you never know. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get into some more callers. We got DF Forever Dwayne up next.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Richie, I don't know if you saw the last 5 minutes of the AFC East Roundtable this week, but this is the difference between Dan and Colby. Colby, although he could barely watch the Atlanta game, doesn't fear the Bills. Dan will be honest when he fears somebody. Just saying. You know, I could sit here and mess around with you, Richie, and about what jerseys you have and don't have and all that. But you know what? I'm going to flip the script unlike Monday yet again. How about a question for me, sir?
A question for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Got something for me?
Yeah. Do you think the Jets were smart of trading away Sauce Gardner?
Yes, and here's why. And you already said it, but I'll make it more clear. You are not only set up for next year, but years to come for draft picks. And it is always better to rebuild a team through the draft than rebuild a team through the free agency. Just to ask how Buffalo has struggled through that process now and then. That being said, I know this week has to be a huge hit for all Jets fans. It just has to be. It has to so much suck and so much be awesome at the same time. You should have a smile on your face. Because here's the difference between you and a Miami. You are showing you have a chance you can rebuild a future. Miami is still stuck with Tua. DF forever.
Thanks, Dwayne, and thanks for allowing me to ask you that question. I like that.
I'll tell you what, dude. I am still shocked. That Miami did not sell. Why would you not load up your brand new GM with as many draft picks as possible?
I know.
I really don't.
I'm still shocked the Jets traded Sauce. I mean, I really am.
Maybe. So maybe what they're trying to do is wait for next offseason and free agent. Oh, I mean, it's tough. Not unless, so they really wanted to wait for that new GM, so to call all the shots and look at the roster that they had and decide whether or not that he wanted to trade them. Once the new league year begins. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
And what Dwayne said, it's Jets fans should be really happy right now. I think Jets fans are all collectively feeling the same emotions of what shocked, oh my God, this is a sad, sad day, to whoa, we're set up. This is great. So it's a mixture, because I think when you look at it from an emotional fan perspective, it's sad. When you look at it from an objective business lens, it's good. So those are the two ways you can look at it from the Jets angles, in my opinion. All right, let's get into our next Patreon caller, Mr. Parks himself. What up, Parks?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Richie, don't say you're set up yet, because you have to get the most important position in North American sports right.
Yeah,
first.
I know, you're right.
You got to get quarterback position right first.
If you get that position right,
if you get that position right, then you can say you're set up. Bills fans, we get to hear about y'all cry about your receiver position for another couple months. because all we heard that Josh Allen only has practice squad players. I don't know why y'all didn't go get Olave or something. I don't know. But what you're trying to do, you're trying to make Josh Allen turn to Superman again. And hope it don't come back to bite you. As far as us, I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad I don't have to hear 95% of my silly fan base talking about Jacoby Myers. Thank you, Jesus. Dolphins, it's over with for them. I don't know. I guess they believe in Tua. I don't know. But like I say, Richie, get the quarterback position right first. Then you can say you set up. But if you get that position right, okay, you'll be on the move with something. I'm out of here, fellas. Appreciate it. Out of here. Hit that like button, chat.
Thank you, Parks. Appreciate you, brother.
Parks, we appreciate that.
And he's completely correct.
Hey, you have a trade proposal. Picks are great, but you got to draft well with them. But I have a deal for you, Richie. Come get Purdy for a second-round pick. Dude.
Yeah, Brock Purdy is unfortunately another quarterback that could be coming to the Jets. But now, listen, all jokes aside, what Park said, I said on my show, he's 100% correct. Everything the Jets have can be flushed down the toilet if they don't hit on their quarterback. That's everything. The Lions were able to get Jared Goff, and he hit, and they drafted it tremendously well. Now look at the Lions. Like, the Jets have to be calculated whether they go in the draft or free agency or the trade market. They need a quarterback, Dan, because that's everything. This can be all for nothing. Now, I do have some news. Now, you remember the James Palmer said that there was a trade for Quinnen that was potentially going to happen, a player for player.
Yeah.
I think I found out who that player was.
Who?
So Jordan Schultz just tweeted this out saying that the Jaguars were active in exploring. So my theory is it was Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh.
That's my theory, is that the Jets were looking to get Brian Thomas Jr. for a straight-up swap for Quinnen Williams. Now, that's not officially been reported, but based off of what we found out, that there was a player-for-player trade that fell through, and now hearing the Jaguars were the team that wanted Quinnen, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting there.
Very, very indeed. But, like, you know what? It's funny because a lot of the wide receivers or a lot of the big names that didn't move, I have a feeling that they still will be traded, but it's this upcoming offseason. I have a funny feeling that Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be dealt this offseason. I think Olave will be dealt as well. I think same thing with Jordan Addison. I think maybe Garrett Wilson. Would Garrett Wilson be dealt like this offseason?
Untouchable.
I don't know. He's untouchable until he isn't, right?
If there wasn't untouchable, I'm happy it was him. I can't deal with that, man, bro.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. I don't know if you saw this. Look at my pinned tweet, Dan Mitchell. Look at the caption.
Look at that.
If there's anybody I'm attached, if the Jets traded Garrett yesterday, I would have been broken. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I've been waiting for a wide receiver that the Jets get in the draft like Garrett for my entire life. And the fact that we have him and they're keeping him untouchable makes me happy. But you can keep making your TikToks about him because that definitely brings some engagement for you.
Wow. So we just heard a quote from Mike Vrabel. Some reporter asked the Patriots how close they were to a trade yesterday, and he said, deals are like being pregnant, and so you either are or you're not. So I don't know how close he could be.
What?
Some words of wisdom from head coach Mike Vrabel. Shout out to the guy. Anyway, let's go ahead and welcome in another Patreon caller here. LaSalle is in the building. What's up, LaSalle?
Hey guys. Still, heart is in my chest. Heart is back on my chest after yesterday, and I do believe that what Park said. We need to land on the quarterback, even if it is through anything trade. I hope it's not free agency because I don't really think that works out well. Like getting a quarterback in free agency, I don't know if that works out. Trading is bad. Trading is okay. Trading, it works out. Free agency, no. It's either draft or trade for me. It's either draft or trade for me, man. It's either draft or trade.
Draft or trade. Shout out to the cell, man.
Shout out to the cell. That's my guy.
I agree. There's a shift happening. There is a shift happening, and I'm liking it. Lino's up next. What up, Lino?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What up, Lino?
What's up, brother?
I'm mad at you, Dan. I'm real mad right now, man.
Why is that?
Because you're the face of the Bills Mafia right now, and I need somebody to yell at because you're the closest thing to Brandon Bean right now.
Yeah.
Dan represents Brandon Bean.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll be that guy for you.
Nah, man, I am kind of, I'm just beyond pissed off, man. I feel like there's some pieces we could have grabbed, and I don't know why he coveted these draft picks so hardly. Like, I would have gave up 2 firsts real quick for Garrett Wilson or for Jalen Waddle. And I know that's probably what I was asking for. I know that's what the Jets were asking for. I mean, I don't know why he covered so hard that first round pick. I mean, unless we're going to see something in this upcoming draft of a good wide receiver, which there are some good wide receivers coming out, I don't see him trading up for any. So, and there's none that's going to be better than Garrett Wilson or Jalen Waddle. So, I just don't know why he ain't, pull the trigger. Because, I feel like we could have been able to grab them. I know the price might have been too high, but so what? So what? I mean, F them draft picks, man. We need this. This is our year right here.
F
This is
them
our
picks,
year right
Lino.
here, man.
Oh my God. I agree with you too, Lino. We appreciate the call in, man. So again, so I'm not mad that we didn't outbid Seattle for Rashid Shaheed. So I'm not mad that we didn't outbid the Jaguars for Myers. But from what I understand, it sounds like that we were calling the Jets and the Dolphins, right? We were trying to figure it out. And Richie, quick question, right? So I know that you said that he was untouchable, but what do you think the asking price for Garrett Wilson was, if there was one at all?
I think it'd be similar to Sauce, 2 firsts and a high-profile young player.
Yeah,
the Jets got 2 firsts for Sauce, but don't forget, I know A.D. Mitchell, everybody's just like, he sucks. Like, he's an afterthought. Like, that guy was a second-round pick last year, so I think it's a very similar asking price for Garrett Wilson. And and another thing that's valuable with Sauce and Garrett, they're both signed. Like, their contracts is appealing. Garrett, you don't have to worry about extending Garrett Wilson if you trade for him. You have him for the next 5 years, so that's another bump of value. So I think that it was going to be 2 firsts plus. And if you're not adding a player, then 2 firsts plus a third or something like that.
So in my head, I'm trying to think of what the potential package would have been for that extra player for Garrett and what they would have asked for. Maybe
Keon Coleman.
Yeah. Well, so if that was the case, I would have said, yeah.
I mean,
I would have said, take him.
I mean, Keon Coleman's kind of the same as A.D. Mitchell. Second round pick that hasn't lived up to the hype,
Yeah. And so I would have been happy with 2 first-round picks and Keon Coleman for Garrett Wilson.
Well, I wouldn't have been. I mean,
you wouldn't have been.
I would have not done that. I would not have done that.
Except for, I'd probably give it to Keon Coleman for being better than any 2 you have. I'd probably also say that Keon is better than AD too. So.
Well, we'll see, man, because I don't know if you're seeing it.
Say that a word to go into it.
Jet, I'm getting delusional. This guy's going to be a beast.
Yeah, dude. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, what defensive player you could have been looking for. Maybe you're looking for an upgrade to what and the Michael Carter was to you.
Well, no, we got Brown. We
you do. Who's on the defense? Safety, with Quinnen Williams gone? Safety. Oh, yeah. So maybe, we
need a safety bad. Or Andre Cisco or starting safeties out for the year.
So long-winded answer here. It sucks. It is what it is. But again, so you look at this Buffalo Bills roster, and they still have no excuse not to win a Super Bowl, right? So you have a really good tight end, a top 1 tight end currently, a top 2 running back, reigning MVP at quarterback, and a top 3 offensive line. The best defensive line and pressure percentage, an up-and-coming secondary, which has looked very good after the bye. We're still a very well-rounded team. So
now, Dan, we went back and forth on this.
Yeah.
Were the New York Jets smart by not trading Garrett and not even entertaining and making him untouchable? Based off of their trading away Sauce and Quinnen, still getting a ridiculous. Like, do you think the Jets are smart? Because you want Garrett so bad. All these people want Garrett, but don't you think the Jets want Garrett? So, like, do you think the Jets were smart to make him untouchable, not even entertaining it?
Mm-hmm. So something that James Palmer said yesterday on Bleacher Report really resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
He was referring to one specific position group where he said it was Sauce. So, right, as a matter of fact, he said having a player like Sauce on a team like the Jets is a luxury. I believe that the exact same thing applies to the New York Jets, where it's nice to keep Garrett Wilson, but he's a luxury, right? Like, he's not important, but he's more of like a luxury to said team, especially since you don't have a quarterback, right? It's like how I would compare. So when you see those memes of like having a Ferrari parked under a rundown house, like I'm sure you've seen those memes before. So,
but don't you think the Jets are in search for their quarterback? Like, that quarterback having Garrett Wilson would help him, whether it's a veteran or a rookie for next year. Like, they're also looking long term. This year, you're right. But for 26 and 27, they have him under contract for 6 years.
Yeah.
And now you trade away Garrett. Now you're looking at no receiver.
Yeah. So here's my take. So I really think that your front office is going to be going for the trade market / free agency within a quarterback, because say that their go-to plan was to draft a quarterback this upcoming season and develop him. By the time that young buck would have been fully developed and actually looking really, really good, maybe outside of one of those anomalies where you have a rookie QB go out there and look phenomenal, with Garrett probably would start getting to a point in his career where he would start taking a step back. So I think you keeping him is more so showing into the future that you very well may be going the veteran route next year.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. And I also think the Jets are going to be aggressive of getting another receiver in the draft with these premium picks to pair up with Garrett Wilson as well. So I think the Jets were smart. If there was one untouchable, I thought Sauce was an untouchable. I would admit, going into this deadline, I thought it was Garrett and Sauce untouchable, but hey, that's an offer you simply can't refuse.
So I often hear this too, saying, like you need to build around a number one wide receiver. I can't think of many instances where that has been a move or that has been successful. Like where you build around a number one wide receiver. Like you build around a quarterback, right? And then you get him a number one. Like with Joe Burrow, for example, next year you have Chase come on in, right? I really haven't seen a lot of scenarios where that has been the move, where you build around a wide receiver number one. It's still early for JJ McCarthy, but like he's not playing anywhere close to what Sam was playing last year.
Nah, dude, the Vikings are smart. Nah, man.
With JJ has Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, and he's still playing at a roller coaster like level right now. I'm trying to think of anything else.
Another interesting report just came out. Jordan Schultz adding a lot of context. Quinnen Williams had wanted out of the Jets for months, but he and the team mutually agreed to keep it quiet to avoid any distractions. So how about that? I think that's pretty interesting. That
it's a class act right there.
Yeah, I think that was and this doesn't shock me. And the cool thing about this that I love, this is why I just love Quinnen. He's such a great dude. Like when the Jets won that game against the Bengals, I saw Quinnen's reaction and just was so happy for Aaron Glenn, and he knew he was out of there, but he was just so happy to give Aaron Glenn his first win as a Jets head coach. I got so much respect for Quinnen. I really, really do. And the fact that they were able to keep that in-house shows you that they're really trying their best to avoid as much distractions as possible, even though we have our own owner doing the opposite. But crazy stuff, dude. And I really hope, Dan, last year we were at the draft. I'm excited to be at these next two drafts, man. As a Jets fan, I'm excited. I'm excited to be there.
Yeah. So with this year's in Pittsburgh. And
where is it in 28 or 27? Let
me see. NFL Draft 2027 location. Washington, D.C.
Ooh, I was just there.
All right, man. Look at that.
The Jets are running the drafts the next 2 years, and your boy will be there covering them. reporting, interviewing. Oh, man. Unfortunately, Armand Membu was not there last year, so I wasn't able to interview him. And Maxwell Harrison, I think he was there, but you never really talked to him, right?
No.
It'd be cool to like interview the guys that become players. You know, Matthew Golden was a cool story. Our guy Bass interviewed him, and he ended up being a Packer.
Yeah.
So like, now,
man, so Maxwell Harrison was actually at the Senior Bowl, and so I didn't have an opportunity of interviewing.
That's another thing I'm excited for. The Senior Bowl, man. I know it's week 10 or whatever week it is, but unfortunately, folks, I mean, more Jets fan than anything. It's draft season now, officially for the Jets, dude. And Bleacher Report, they have me doing videos for them every day, and usually they don't request what topics they want. And guess what they just requested for me to do today and tomorrow?
Sauce Gardner stuff?
No, they want me to do a 2026 mock draft today and a 2027 mock draft tomorrow.
Oh.
So I got to start doing homework on these prospects, Dan. Wish me luck.
Look at that.
All right, we got some more super chats real quick. Dan, am I crazy? Or is this the 1 year worst case scenario? If the Bills get wild card, we can go to the Super Bowl. No team above us currently scare me. Thoughts?
Am I crazy, or is this the 1 year worst case scenario? If the Bills get the wild card, we can get to the Super Bowl. No team above us currently scares me. So I saw a few like playoff lineups where it had Kansas City as the 7th seed. We were to the 5th seed, and we would probably play the Steelers or something like that if the playoffs were to begin. And so I made a comment saying that this is a Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills AFC Championship playoff run. Like, again, I don't know. And so I still would like to have the 1 seed, right? Like, that is the goal. 2nd seed, I mean, is not my favorite, but I mean, hey, and so you have to win the games in front of you.
T. Rivera, another $10. Thank you, brother. Dan, be real. Is much of the same every year, but good luck from a Jets fan, Dan. You can't beat the Eagles or the Chiefs. Dan, are we talking playoff picture aside from Dan Patriots, not from Bills or Finns?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Dan, be real is much of the same year. So I look at the Buffalo Bills, right? And again, we have no excuse. So many Bills fans like to compare Howie Roseman to Brandon Beane. And guys, look, he makes a lot of moves in free agency and in the draft, and he does a really, really good job. But then again, he has Jalen Hurts as his quarterback. And no knock to Jalen Hurts, but he's no Josh Allen. As far as when it comes into actual production. So a player like Jalen Hurts is going to need, right? He's going to need a star-studded wide receiving core. He's going to need a top-tier running back. He's going to need a great offensive line. He's been able to finesse around it, and he does very, very well. Look, we have the exact same DNA as we did last year, and the only thorn in our side has been the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. And the way that I look at the Kansas City Chiefs right now, I'm not even entirely convinced that we are going to see them in the playoffs, especially with how they've been playing. And they've been pretty quiet too. So no, so that whole thing, window is closed. No, it's not. And so we've been playing, and for the past couple of seasons, and we've been sent home literally based off of one play not going our way. We've been blowing the doors off of just about everybody once November and December comes around. And last year, I do remember that energy where people were saying that we weren't going to beat the Lions, and we put belt to ass to them in Detroit. So don't be surprised if Buffalo beats the Eagles. So don't be surprised if we ultimately end up doing the same thing to the Philadelphia Eagles this year as well. It's at home. So I don't know, man. Look, I am not going to look forward to the playoffs because I know it's coming. And so I know we're going to be in the playoffs. I just need to see this team be consistent throughout the remainder of November and December.
All right, next Patreon caller is Habitual Line Stepper. What's good, bro?
What's good, brothers? How y'all doing today?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I know you excited, Richie. Once I heard that bidding war for Quinnen Williams, I said, "Oh, it's over. We out of there. We can't win no bidding war." But I'm excited for Jet fans. to see what y'all do with those picks. You know, y'all should be excited these next 2 years in the draft. See how y'all build this team out under Glenn. I agree with Lino though. You know, that's the caller before me, right? That's who called in before me.
Think so.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. F them picks. Them picks. I am so tired of EDC and these 8-9 picks a year. Don't want to move up in the draft. Don't want to make a significant trade during the trade deadline. Like, what is we doing? What is we doing? And I get Bills fans' frustration. I just be having that hope out, that little hope. Yeah. Talent evaluation wise, drafting wise, we better. So we could always catch up to the Bills, but the Chiefs is always going to have that gap on us because we do not have an aggressive front office. We have this conservative, we're going to play it safe. We're going to keep playing it safe. We're going to keep playing it safe. And then years is going to keep going past. And if it's all said and done, honestly saying, if we got Lamar Jackson and y'all got Josh Allen and it's only one Super Bowl appearance, that's sad. It's pathetic. I'm just saying. It's just sad. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
F them picks, man.
Well, I have to disagree. I love the picks, baby, because I'm in the opposite situation. We got nothing but picks on our end over here, and we're going to hopefully maximize it. But no, I agree with everything you said there, especially when you're in the win now mode. Absolutely. But yeah, exciting stuff. But Dan, what about RotoWire? What do you know about them?
Dude, RotoWire is the go-to player prop research tool on the market today. It's great. You simply just log in and they hand pick the overs and unders on everything on Sleeper. You hear us talk about Sleeper quite often. But guys, if you want to take your player prop plays seriously this year, you have to be able to take advantage of some of the resources that RotoWire code RTS gets you 15% off. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. Go get that money. Go get that money.
Shout out to RotoWire, as always, for being a sponsor of Roundtable Sports. Folks, we got an AFC East Roundtable tonight, and we're going to break down more things about these trades that happened and didn't happen, and, of course, previewing all the games that is happening this weekend. Jets football's back after our bye week. We have a Bills game. Who you got this week, Dan?
We have the Miami Dolphins, man.
Oh, do you really? I didn't realize that.
We have the Miami Dolphins.
In Miami?
In Miami.
What time's that game at?
That's at noon. Well, 1.
All right. Well,
1 o'clock.
We got an AFC East matchup this weekend, and the Patriots got the Bucks. Dan is the biggest Baker Mayfield fan on the planet this weekend.
I'm about to buy a jersey. Brother. Baker Mayfield, he's feeling dangerous.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, and then the Jets got the Browns. So we got some things to talk about in the AFC East Roundtable tonight. Love you guys so much. I'm out of here. Dan's out of here. We'll see you on the AFC East Roundtable. We are out of here. Peace.
See you, man.